This feature is on Durga Puja in Calcutta. It is extremely difficult to explain what is Durga Puja. I believe no amount of video can represent that, and I do not know of anything happening anywhere in the world like this. This puja is primarily celebrated by pandal hopping, and slowly we'll go through the process where that hopping and pandal will be explained. This is the one of the very old puja celebrated in a Maharaja's palace, and in front it's a real palace, it's not a pandal. When we see the pandals, we will refer back to this shot. This is the image which is worshipped, and strangely for the puja also photography is prohibited. Very, very strange. This is a privately operated puja, and later I'll explain what is private puja and what is public puja. Today is the first day of the 5 days puja, like a cricket test match, and the owners of this palace in front, they themselves are working, preparing for the puja to start this evening. That was the palace of this Maharaja, which we just visited, and we are going to the next. This is the next palace, and we are going inside. This is the next step of the hop, the puja in front, and we have still not reached the pandal. This building is also real, not a pandal. This is the image of this puja. The puja starts in the evening. This is the palace. The puja is something typically like worship. The image is worshipped for 5 days, and the concept is something like win of good over bad. We'll go through the whole thing later on, what happens and what is done for these 5 days. Today is the day where the goddess is received and placed on her place. Before we start the hopping process, pandal hopping process, here is a sample of what is pandal. On the top it was real, in the front is the pandal that is constructed. This kind of pandals are constructed for 5 days, spending millions and millions. This is another image. In the city today, thousands and thousands and thousands of this kind of images are being worshipped. Now you know what is a pandal. This is a pandal. This is one of the famous, close to 100-year-old puja being performed every year. Let's go inside. Inside the pandal. And the image. This is Goddess Durga destroying the devil in a war between good and bad. The pandals are typically surrounded by stalls and entertainment pavilions. And people are coming day and night, 24 hours to see the image. And advertisements all around. Preparation and rehearsal for the crowd. Look at this. This is another maybe 100-year-old puja. I remember my father used to bring us here. Oh my God, pandal. Now you know what is pandal. Made for just 5 days. See the entrance. No less than 007. No wonder my father used to bring us here. Look at this. This is the image. And see below the devil. And I'll explain about the whole thing later. This is where everything starts. Images are being made. There are thousands of studios like this in this area making the images. Ahead, this is the studio road. All image making studios are here. Look at this. Roadside studios. The images are being made for the next puja. Next puja means not Durga Puja, the next Lakshmi or Saraswati, other pujas. Look at this. The image and the artist who made this image. Now you know what is pandal hopping. Let's go to the next. Don't get confused. This is not pandal. This is real. And this is Calcutta Street. And don't get confused. This is not real. This is a pandal. Another pandal. Preparation is going on for today evening's Bodhan Puja. Another image. Let me explain what is going on here. You see on the sides the children of the goddess Durga. One is Ganesha, one is Lakshmi, one is Saraswati, and one is Kartik. And whenever the goddess comes to earth, comes with her 4 children, with her carrier, you can say, transporter, which is a lion. This is one more pandal inside. Every image has different presentation of the demon. There is some kind of Oscar on these pandals. There is nomination 5 rounds and the first prize, which is the Oscar equivalent. Evening is falling and now we are in the hands of light artists from the image artists. Very strange that the music is being played all over. Is of my childhood. Very, very strange. One of the roadside shop selling pan. Free drinking water service. Very common during pujas. Look at this. We are getting inside a cave. This is the image inside the theme of the cave. In the last shot I mentioned something about theme. All the pandals are traditionally based on some kind of theme. This is a very unique one based on theme of the studios where the images are made. All half finished images. As I told earlier, today is the first day of the puja and there are 5 days of puja. Today's worship is to receive the goddess. Tomorrow's would be to welcome the goddess. Day after tomorrow is preparing her for the war, and in the evening, day after tomorrow evening is the war. The next day is victory of the war, puja, and the next day she leaves. 30 million people crying. Decoration using coconut. Preparation for today's worship, simple, just receiving the Mother Goddess. Banana tree in front is the wife of Lord Ganesha, one of the child of Goddess Durga. This is very interesting. This tree would be now taken to this river after bath, properly dressed, and taken to the pandal and kept by the side of Lord Ganesha. Today is the second day. The goddess would be welcomed. One pandal bathing is over. Now it is going to be the second pandal. All morning this will go on. One of the ingredient of the puja required for the worship is right here, is the soil of the river Ganges. Back to pandal hopping for the second day, and look at this. The entrance decorated by the footprints of the goddess. Today's puja is going on. This Pandal got all these prizes for years. We used to come here during our childhood. In fact, the pandals we'd be hopping, they were all from my memories of childhood, and this is going on for years and years, for hundreds of years, every year. Another one, and the person in front is not real. Smoking is dangerous to health. Water-filled plastic bags. Another very old pandal. Very old means for many years this event is occurring every year. I know since my childhood. Very differently made image. On the left you see Lord Ganesha. See at the left Lord Ganesha's wife, the goddess of musical art, and God Kartika is in the right, god of performing art. Goddess Lakshmi on the right, goddess of wealth, and I told you about Lord Ganesha, the god of good luck. I still remember catching my father's hand, who used to come here. What a massive pandal. I didn't understand well the theme of this pandal, but it's just beautiful. Advertisement all over. We are heading towards another famous pandal, and see the crowd. No comment. The next, and after this, the next, the next, the next, and the next, and it will go on for all day. vendor got all these prices. Cut pieces of bamboo. Oh, what an artwork. Another one from Memory Lane. Made of solid wood.
কি সুন্দর!
Image is made of solid wood.
কি
Puja is
সুন্দর!
going on.
না? কি সুন্দর!
Very modern theme. Library. Very interesting. Simply no word. Again, don't get confused. This is not real, and this is a pandal. Unbelievable. One more my childhood memory. Inside the Roman palace. Last shot of the Roman palace before we leave. Can you believe this is made of fabric only? The whole thing is made of fabric. Here I know this is Vatican City Trevi Fountain. And advertisement in front. Again evening and again light work. Evening crowd.
ওটা তো অনেক দূর।
একটু আগে ইনফ্যাক্ট বিচারক মন্ডলী সময় আমরা অপেক্ষা করেছিলাম লাইন আমাদের মাননীয় বীরেন সিংহ মহোদয় বিচারক পরিবার শুভেচ্ছা ও মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী মহোদয় ইনফ্যাক্ট
Just no end and everyone is waiting for glimpses of the image. Controlling traffic, both human and machine. Just unbelievable. More lights and more crowd. Again, one more and one more and one more. something like Wizard of Oz. And if you see, they are made from cycle spoke and cycle wheel. And the phonograph horns.
যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে জগৎ মাতা রে আমার একলা নিতাই হরি নাম দিয়ে জগৎ মাতা রে আমার একলা নিতাই
One more day, one more pandal.
ও আবার ঠাকুর দেখবো কি কোনো জায়গায় দেখি প্যান্ডেলই তৈরি হয়নি কোনো জায়গায় প্যান্ডেল হচ্ছে ঠাকুর নেই
This is the pandal for the image. It's built over a swimming pool. It's a very old and very big swimming pool. Now you know what is pandal hopping, so I am not giving any more description. Durga Puja of Hindus is on a theme of a church. Unbelievable. Goddess Durga is inside a church. And the music is disco. Changing mood in another pandal. Today is another day, the day of victory celebration. The war was won last night. In fact, the celebration started from last night. You have seen some shots of the celebration in the last few sequences. We are going towards the image. It's $1 million puja, and I'll explain you why it is $1 million puja later. Now I will explain why it is $1 million. Look at the ornaments. They are real solid gold. As I know, it's a 12.5 kgs of real solid gold. Let me try to do some close-ups for this solid gold ornament. You can see the necklaces and the crown. These are solid gold. These are also solid gold. Preparation for today's puja. And the last shot. This pandal is based on Sundarban rainforest theme. Very interestingly made. See how beautifully the rainforest is created. Also, there is a crocodile. I don't think this is real, but still very beautiful. And got all these prizes. Decorating the goddess. The earlier pandal was Kailash temple replica, and this one is Kedarnath temple replica of North India. This is supposed to be river Ganges. These are all part of the pandal. This is another ritual, a part of the puja. The ladies are standing in queue to go up and put decorations and cosmetics on the goddess's face and the body. Another temple theme. You need to climb up to see the image. Another classic, Durga Puja inside a masjid. This puja is very important for me. Next year, this puja is celebrating 50th anniversary, and I was the secretary of the first puja in 1964. I hope they invite me on their 50th anniversary. Another evening. Today is the final morning. Today we will bid goodbye to the goddess and head towards the immersion. This celebration will take place next year, and we wait for one more year before we go to the immersion. Here are few last minute pandals. Theme of Mahabharata war. Arjuna and his chariot in front. Arjuna's Swayamvar, conceiving Mahabharata. Ganesha is writing. This puja is in the red light district. This is organized by the brothel workers. The send-off farewell puja is going on. This puja is organized by steel market shopkeepers, and the decoration or the pandal of this puja is made by the wire mesh scrap taken from the shopkeepers. These are all made by scrap wire mesh.
कहाँ दुर्गा माई है तो कहाँ दुर्गा माई है माँ दुर्गा माई सामने है
Amarnath temple in Himalayas. Lord Shiva in Kailash. And you need to climb the temple on horseback. The theme looks like a Chinese boat in Hong Kong, housing floating restaurants, and one needs to go to see the image underwater. And here we end our pandal hopping. In every 500 meters there is a pandal, and Calcutta is one of the largest city in the world. I could not even cover a small bowl from the ocean. Next we move on to the immersion ceremony. Afternoon is approaching and images are being brought in trucks to the immersion ghat. This is the typical ghat for immersion ceremony. The drum is beating next year once again. Samne bochor amar hobe. Security everywhere. Images are in queue for immersion. This ghat is very important for me. During our childhood, my father used to bring us here for the immersion ceremony. All Indian TV channels are here to cover. More image, more ghat. And more immersion. This is first time in my life I bid goodbye to two mothers. I am standing at the ghat where my mother was cremated. She will not return next year.